We're live. We're live. Maybe. Hopefully. For fuck's sake, I hope we're live. Yeah.
New phone, who dis?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, it's Saturday Night Live. Sit rep style. So we're coming to you from a new undisclosed location.
Certainly similar to the garage.
Right. So we're in the middle of still finishing up. Built a new hobby table. Lots of funny stories to tell you, especially the one about how I built the damn table too damn high. Like a foot too high. So unfortunately, missing some cords and charging to put multiple cameras up. So you're going to get this one camera here. And if you see me looking down, I'm checking the stream to make sure that we're rocking and rolling here. Still running. All that silly business. And I'm going to bring the chat up on my phone. We are good to go. So I'm just going to bring up the chat app here on my phone. Hopefully we can just go from here.
This is riveting entertainment.
Hey, look, I got a second camera. Shut the door.
Wait, what?
My phone.
Yeah.
Except I need to flip it. How do I flip the camera?
Smack it up, clip it, rub it down.
Dude.
I was just going to say, you might want to turn that up. Yeah, we're getting all sorts of time on that.
Hold on a minute, guys. I've got a wireless way to get a camera on.
Well, we could do extreme close-up then.
Close-up. Okay, still the wrong camera. No, we don't want that one. Turn that one off. Go back to that one. See, it wants to give you,
is it trying to give you a selfie view?
yes. And I don't want selfie view. I want the other view.
I don't know, your phone's smarter than I am. I don't know.
So, can you hear me?
It says you are
Rasmus?
It says you are muted.
Well, I'm muted here, but I'm not muted down there. So,
Yeah.
if anybody out there could let us know if we're muted, I would appreciate it. Or if you could hear us. We have beverages. We're not going to show the label.
Yep.
All right, too late. And we have fine, probably really dried out because my humidifier was really dry. Cohiba. And he's probably got chew. You got chew?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to paint some crap. We're going to talk some crap.
A little bit.
Dawn says she can hear us.
Yay!
Dawn, are you hearing us through the wall?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or are you hearing us on the TV? We're probably live in 4K on the 82-inch TV.
No, that's kind of terrifying to be honest. Thank goodness we're not seeing that.
Right? Okay, so she can hear us. All right. Yeah, but for whatever reason, I can't get this camera to turn around. I want that camera to turn around. Marty, why don't you talk a little bit while I try and figure this out?
All right, so as Bill has said, with new table, had some technological challenges. As it turns out, so when Bill went down to Florida and he told me and Chris, hey, take all the camera stuff, we took all the camera stuff. So Bill's like, hey, where's my cable? I'm like, oh, it's at Chris's house. Well, where's the power supply? It's at Chris's house.
Right?
So the setup here is a bit sparkly. However, really, this is just a hangout. You know, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna have an adult beverage.
Yeah.
We're gonna paint some little dudes. We've got the Union Brigade.
Yeah, the ones, these guys here that, yeah. We were gonna prime the other ones, but we forgot, and Marty tried to prime it last second, and the primer's dead, so we actually have primer upstairs, but all right.
Yeah.
We got what we were gonna make. I mean, seriously, this isn't a serious painting video. Let's be truthful. This is just a matter of everybody getting together, hanging out, and going, woo!
Yeah, and let's face it, Bill told me I had to paint the faces on these guys, so there's more than enough already done, right?
Whatever.
I got this really
Dawn
cool
asked, why am I seeing closed caption up? I got no idea. Let me see. Is it an option? Did you turn caption on? No. There's no closed caption option. Maybe one here. Think.
I don't know. It's the first time we've ever had your phone hook up wirelessly to this.
Right?
So bear with us as we learn some new stuff.
And we're gonna go high resolution audio. I don't know if that makes a difference at all, but you know, whatever.
But it says we could do it.
Hey, we got 5 people in the stream.
Well, we got three of them are on Facebook, although one of them might be me.
Rasmus says, I don't see it on Twitch. Yeah, I think it's just on YouTube that the captions are off. I don't know why. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to turn this camera around. Here, let me show you. Is that this camera? See? Oh, hey, look.
Whoa, wow. Yeah, we definitely need to turn that around.
Right. How do we turn that around? All right, but I want to turn it up.
There's a lot of buttons on there.
There's a lot of buttons. All right, guys. Let's do something constructive. Oh, we lost somebody. We're only 4 people now. That's fine.
There's somebody off of Facebook because there's only 2. So someone on Facebook decided they'd had enough already.
Already of our shenanigans?
Yeah.
See how dry it is?
Maybe they're going to another platform to alert their friend.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I'm going with. That's how I would do it. Yeah, how dry is that? I mean, this whole thing's gonna go up in one giant flame.
There should be that warning. This video is not rated for immature audiences. Sorry, not immature.
Mature, yeah.
It's rated for over a certain age because we're immature as shit.
I was gonna say it should be rated.
Strong language, drinking, and smoking.
Yes.
And in war.
Well, Civil War.
So tell them about your idea.
Which one? Oh, my game idea?
Yeah.
All right, so I came up with this idea earlier. I swear, I had 2 sips of beer. It's all it takes. I don't know what it is about alcohol that gets the brain cells lubricated and flowing at their optimal level. But here's my thought: is to kind of have like a gaming Olympics. Now, only playing games. It's not, you know, I don't want to go decathlon where you have to like paint a dude, build a model, do some terrain, and then play a game. Write that shit down, though. That is pure genius. We should do that too. But my thought is that you know, almost like a progressive game of very short one-offs, right? We don't need these to be huge, epic battles.
John's in the house.
Little tiny scenarios that you can run in like a half hour, for instance. But you can start in, you know, at whatever period. So we could start at like the American Civil War. So
War through the ages.
yeah, and then you go from like the American Civil War on up to you do like I don't know the War of 1812.
Well, American Revolution. The War 1812 is kind of boring. We go right to Civil War. Oh, no, we do Napoleonics.
Yeah, that's right.
Napoleonics. So American Revolution, Napoleonics, Civil War, the Anglo-Zulu War, or the Zulu War, as I commonly call it, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, the Cold War,
yep.
Desert Storm,
Yep.
and
then
here we are.
Yeah, then yeah.
Oh, Rasmus says 1812 for naval actions. Okay. All right.
That could be good too. So you know, we do have the oh god, why am I drawing a blank on it? Tim Stokowski's game.
The French and Indian War.
Yeah, we got that.
Savage Frontier.
Savage Frontier. Thank you.
Yeah. Now we gotta go before the American Revolution.
Totally drawing a blank. I'm like, you know, we can throw that in there.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I do. You only brought 2 paints down in the watch.
So what was on there? What do you want?
How am I supposed to paint a horse? How am I supposed to paint flesh? How about weapons?
Dude, paint those guys. There's bases over there. Paint them whatever color you want. Speaking of which, so what exactly is the color scheme you want to have on these dudes?
They're Union guys, man.
All right.
So Union have the Union light blue and the dark blue.
You just want the light blue and the dark blue?
Well, and then we'll finish them up with black. And
right, then yeah, give them a little touch up here and there to
right.
Put splash of something across their face so you can tell they have a face. That makes sense.
No, like I said, since I kind of went and did this backwards and glued them to the base before painting them, it makes it very difficult to.
That number 2 might be a bit big.
Yeah,
Still
don't use
number
two.
one.
Number one. So, what's everybody up to today? Rasmus, I thought you were D&Ding today.
Yeah, didn't you say something about D&D, guys? I jumped in on the Wednesday show late, but I watched it all, so.
And John, I know you're hobbying tonight. What you hobbying?
I get partial credit.
So, yeah, War Through the Ages. It could be a whole gaming weekend.
Right? You know, you could make it a tournament style. You go through and, it could be elimination at each level. You could have brackets.
Or each person could play a different country. I know their countries are different, each thing essentially, but we could figure it out like you're, the A teams, and somebody's the B teams. You put the British as an A and the Zulus are B. And I don't know. You can come with all kinds of crazy crap. Or you just do it off a win-loss record, honestly.
Yep.
And then have amazing prizes. Speaking of amazing prizes, tomorrow on the podcast, which will be a very lightly attended podcast for the crew. You didn't bring your big towels, brother.
I did. They're
okay. Yeah, she said. Thank you. We are going to announce the race for 500 for the YouTube 500.
Yes.
YouTube 500. Sounds like a race.
I was gonna say it sounds like NASCAR.
Woo. Separate 500. Anyway, so we're going to announce that tomorrow. So we'll be picking a winner, and we'll announce that on the show. All right. So Rasmus says, but hey, I have a few of those guys inbound. So between the 300 you have there, add a few caps. Excellent. Hold on a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Hey. All right. Got the Flintlock on the painting table and a bourbon in the non-painting head. Salud, brother. Let's see.
Nice.
Rasmus says D&D got canceled due to one of the others had a family emergency. Oh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, hope things are all right.
So, if anybody out there has some poutine, please pour a nice glass for me and enjoy it.
Just for the record, it's Facebook with the capture guy. I have Facebook.
Oh, don't have Facebook then? I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
It's captioning.
It's captioning. We're captured.
Yeah,
Captioned. All right. So, did I ever paint these? This is like I did. Yes. I can get the trousers. All right. So John's painting Flintlock. Do you know about Flintlock?
I know of it. I've never played it, and I haven't looked at the rule set. But.
It's an interesting take on Napoleonics because you use fantasy armies. So elves.
Oh, is that the one with dwarves and
orcs? Yeah. I think is it the British that are orcs, which really peed some people off. No drinking for me. Have to get my head right. Oh, you're still under concussion precautions. That's terrible. Bummer. Hopefully you heal quickly, Rasmus.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Like a pearl, So like I was saying, yeah, there was a time where people, I think when Flintlock came out and the British were represented by orcs.
They didn't like that.
Right. John says, yep, the orcs are the Albion, though the Scots are rats of various types. Ooh. I wonder if that pissed them off.
I don't know. I feel like the
Scots are pretty, they got good sense of humor.
I was going to say, I feel like they might not give a fuck. The Scots and the Irish, they're, pretty hardy folk. They're like, yeah, screw it. You know what? Yeah, we're rats, and we're going to beat your ass.
Right?
Which, I'd play that side.
So, I found one of my mats that will go perfect for this game. In my stack of mats. It's from Cigar Box. The Cigar Box, whatever it's called. God, I should get the name right. Help me, people, help me.
cigar box found.
Something like that.
Oh, that makes really cool shit.
I got the woodland war one that, you know, you can use the basement outline with fences and trees and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, just as a quick throwdown, just to do a quick play test, because I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking.
Here we go.
We
smell
build,
more.
no, this is actually just a simple thing. We build a brigade. So we'll finish up the Union Brigade, we'll finish up the Confederate Brigade boxes that we have, and then we just do a play test and see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
Which I personally would be super excited about because I've never played at Epic Scale.
What?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, now, kind of true, because like some of the games we played with Jim on computer would have been that scale. But yeah.
But in real miniature
I've never pushed this guy around and called it a brigade or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could be cool.
So what do you want to work on? What's on your table, Marty? What's on your table right now?
So
As your own projects.
So I've had a pinched nerve in my left shoulder for about 2 weeks now, so I have done almost no hobbying at all. However, so I'm trying to build out some nice Afghan tables.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not currently building tables, I am building all the supporting stuff. So, you know, I've got Afghan bad guys, I've got whatever flavor good guys you want to use. But we all know that in the modern battlefield, it's not just the good guys and bad guys. But
Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Let me hold your thought for a second. So John asks, how do they define epic? Well, I guess it depends on the scale, really, you know, and how many minis you can put on a table based on that scale. Because really, epic in 40K, was it 6 mil originally?
So, yeah.
And
that's what I associated with in my head is 6 mil.
So the Jim's in the house. And then Rasmus says if we ever get a weekend, so if we ever get to get our gaming weekend on, we should try to get 10,000 figures down in some Civil War action. So that means I need to buy another 3 boxes.
No, okay.
Starter sets.
No, Rasmus needs to buy one because it's his idea. So he's got to bring at least one of them.
So I need to buy 3 more starter sets so we can get up to that, you know, because the starter set, it's 3,000 guys, plus these sets. So it gives you what, another, what do we count it as? 3,500 guys total, something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
So
a lot.
And then Jim says, hey, Rasmus, everybody, and say, I have 2 starter boxes incoming. So like the whole starter box or just the brigade little boxes? Because that's a lot of dudes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a reason why when Bill and I decided that we wanted to hang out and have a cocktail tonight, we're painting it too. Because there's a lot of dudes. They can paint themselves.
And we weren't very prepared because otherwise we had everything for them.
Yeah.
And we would have been painting better.
And yeah.
So, yeah. Well, there is that. The 2-player starter boxes. You bought 2 of the 2-player starter boxes? See? And they call me crazy.
Ooh, Rasmus is all in. Buddy. Good time. Let no one say that Rasmus does things half-assed.
That's right. And we're tired. This is the only place I can smoke a cigar other than outside. So Don would shoot me if I still smoked it in the house.
True that. True that. Although it's so dry, there's hardly any flavor to it, so it doesn't really smell much.
You know what? So here's the thing. Warble Bite's in the house. Hey! So, you know, I bought this from Cigar World or cigars.com or whatever it is. You know, you get that starter set, you know, with the humidor and the clipper and the fancy lighter and all that crap, and you get a sampling of cigars. The humidifier that comes with it, the little disc. Get yourself one that's better, and the actual glycerin stuff that goes in it instead of water. You know, you can use distilled water. Saturday night, Warple's in the house. Hope you got a good drink.
Yes, sir.
Look at that, I'm gonna get ash on my workbench.
Well, as long as you don't melt the,
Yeah.
mat, we'll be okay.
So guys, this is the beginning of the new live stream studio here at SITREP headquarters here in Chicago, Illinois. We're not really in Chicago, but for a geographical reference, it's easier just to say Chicago.
Yeah, we're 40 miles west,
Yeah.
but, you know,
So,
let's not cloud the issue with fact. We don't get shot as often here. Just saying.
you know, I was just talking about this the other
the
night.
news. I mean, come on.
You know, I was just talking about this on the live stream on Wednesday night. I said, you know, I've been trying to get Lloyd and Ann to come over from Ireland for years, and they refused because Ann is
Terrified?
she is what was I gonna say?
Convinced she'll be shot.
Convinced she'll be shot. And I'm like, oh, that would never happen. Then you look at the news lately, and it's like, no, I might have to reserve my comments on that one.
No. It's a crazy, crazy world. I'm telling you on that.
All right, guys, it's a hobby check-in right now. So Marty and I are working on the Warlord games, Epic Battles, American Civil Wars. This is a brigade box. What is the box again there, sir?
Yeah, the black color. Epic Battles.
Warplebite says he is. I started buying something new. They are called toy soldiers.
Wow. Wow. So Vorpal, that's no bust on you, and we'll explain this in a minute.
60 millimeter
Whoa.
pre-painted figures.
Like action figures?
Yeah. Why is it? I don't know why I keep saying hype. And then Raz says, well, I placed a lowball offer on 2 on Fleabay, and I got both of them on all in. Awesome. I just don't want to paint Bill Trim. No, we get it. So the reason we're kind of giggling at the name of Toy Soldier, and once a string.
Very timely.
Yeah. I was talking about our new venture, which is Wargamer Wear, WEAR. And it's, you know, t-shirts and stuff designed specifically for wargamers, you know. There's some other companies out there that do a wide variety of stuff, but this is designed for wargamers. And I told about my first 3 ideas. Obviously, the first shirt we're going to create this week when everything gets here is the SITREP podcast t-shirt with the logo that Jim created.
Yeah.
And then
fine work there.
The second one is the one I was talking about where the text is, say toy soldiers one more time.
Say toy soldiers one more time.
And it has an angry A10 or something with a bayonet or something. We haven't figured out the graphic yet. You know, because your wife calls them toy soldiers, does she not?
Yeah, pretty much.
And says you're crafting.
Yeah, she says I'm crafting. And are you playing with your toy soldiers or are you painting your little guys?
So that's where that t-shirt came from. And then my favorite idea so far is the when you roll a fumble, that's the text. And under, you know, in the center, it has a graphic of one soldier, you know, obviously a modern dude. And he's got a little text above him, and it says, oops. And then you see a little line that droops down to the ground, and there's a grenade laying there with no pin, obviously. And there's another soldier facing him, looking at him, going, dude.
Yeah.
You know? So just a little bit of inside humor. All right, Razin says, need some calves, some light troops, but I guess, you know what? Let me go into the chat box because
you know, Dawn says, oh, you're immature. I don't know how old that is, but
immature.
Yes. And
what are you talking about?
I don't know, but I'm with now. I know why everybody jumped off of Facebook because these what do you call them? Captions are annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it kind of blocks the what you call it?
The hoochie mamas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch to my computer. They call the figures toy soldiers, and there's a huge community. They have conventions just as big as Gen Con. Really?
So what games are we playing with the toy soldiers? I mean, can you play like anything with them, or is there specific rule sets and stuff, or is it?
I'm
like
like the paint one.
Is it? That's all right. Or they're like, is it like a giant version of existing games and people homebrew rules for them, or what? I want to know more. I'm kind of intrigued, not gonna lie.
John says, I am blessed. My wife joins me at conventions, likes playing sci-fi war games and character-driven historical skirmishes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, there is my wife, Donnie, and you may know her. She's YouTube famous.
Right.
She even got a character created, cartoon character, one of Justin and Dragons. She has her own cartoon character in Justin and Dragons, wearing her Hermione outfit. Go figure. Did I ever get a cartoon character from Justin and Dragons?
No, they don't look like Hermione, so I couldn't pull off the outfit.
Right? Anyways.
She's also got her own little...
And she got her own custom mini. Yep.
Yeah, I got one at home.
So, she likes going to conventions, but she's not an historical miniature war game fan. She likes the sci-fi weird stuff, like Malifaux and Harry Potter and
Hey. Nice when you say Harry Potter.
that kind of stuff. So, no drinking for me either. I'm afraid. Not tonight. I'm afraid. Afraid of what? What are you afraid of? Do you feel safe in your own room, James?
I'm gonna say, Jim, is there something going on down there, buddy?
Remember said a thunder tonight? There's a car.
It's my guess. I think that was somebody wrong.
So, all right, let's see.
Going in the front of these guys.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. John says even runs the Starship Troopers game with me. Oh, that's cool. Vorpalbite says American Civil War, American War RW, American Revolutionary War, English Civil War, Napoleonic Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, World War II. I'm collecting Vietnam one.
Damn. Wow, cool. So, there's like rule sets for them to play with these dudes, or is it just collectors? I mean, yeah,
they're playing games.
You said you're gaming with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Rasmus says, and poor Don even got to hang out with me a few times. Rasmus, you are part of the fam, brother. We go back now. It's amazing how time flies. We always enjoy your company at conventions. We miss it.
DEFCON 2019, the last one they had. That was a good time. Had a couple of beers. We should probably do that when we don't have to be super quiet because they were doing the super exclusive special live cast with all the.
It was amazing.
People.
That's what happens when you're a famous person.
Yeah.
And Dennis is in the house. Hey, Saturday night sit rep. Hope you got your drinks and your hobbying. James says nothing's wrong. Just drawing the map for tomorrow's game. The Arab-Israeli wars. I think he wants to make sure he has straight lines.
Well, yeah, that could be. I get it.
Vorpalbite says, dude, they are miniatures. John says, hey, Vorpal, sounds like the Britain's minis I'm thinking, right? Vorpalbite says, what set of rules are you using for the Civil War? Well, that's the quandary we are in. It's not really a quandary, but this is what we're thinking. So we're going to try it with the black powder rules that came with it.
Because we got that.
Right.
Came with the set of rules, maybe we'll check it out.
And then there's some other rules out there that we might try. So if you have I know Johnny Reb, I think you said you play. So I'll have to see if I can get my hands on a copy of that or download it. Let's see. Hey, Chris is in the house. Walkabout Games. How's it going, eh? Hey, you got your, what is it, Paps? No, not Paps. Labatt's. Do they still make that? Or Molson? Mm-hmm. Do they still make Labatt's?
They got bought out, didn't they? But I think they still make.
Do they? I don't know. I'm not pretty sure.
There's no reason they shouldn't. It wasn't bad. It's funny you say that. So I was actually doing that this morning. For some reason, I was doing the great one.
Let's see. Worple's Bite says Johnny Reb, Fire and Fury, the miniatures don't care what set of rules I use. That's true. Walkabout Game. Chris says I'm painting US Marine still. Rasmus says tried Fire and Fury a few times, but it was a long time ago. Interesting. I'll have to give these all a look and see.
Chris, you will be painting US Marines for the rest of your natural life because you've got like a factory of.
Well, he got the license to sell them, I believe, right?
Yeah, he did, and he hasn't stopped printing them since.
I think are you doing demo ones to put on like a Facebook page or web page so you can show what they look like, Chris? I'm assuming that's what you're doing, demo ones. Let's see, Vorpal Bite. I buy mine from a company called King and Country out of Hong Kong, but the owner is a Brit.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm familiar with them. All right. So, well, I painted about as much blue as I can paint there, Martin. Well, you should probably go get another color. You just want to paint the fucking horse, don't you?
Yeah.
We'll go get horsey paint.
Hey, Don, if you're listening.
Oh, wow. You got balls.
Love you, honey.
Oh, man.
I can't break the camera range. We're on set, man.
Okay. That's how you want to play it. As long as she buys that little shit. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Hey, I have a good excuse. I'm past the point of exhaustion, so I cannot be responsible for anything that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, okay.
Especially with alcohol involved and hypoxic from smoking.
Oh, yeah. That one will do it. That's true.
Oh, man. Chris says, store goes up soon. I'm painting one for each code for the pixels. Outstanding. Chris, did you hear about our new company, brother? SitRep Podcast is having new side bids. Wargamer Wear. We're going to make custom t-shirts, and we'll be making sure we send you one, brother.
Yeah, and, well, we got more than that.
Yeah?
Well, I mean,
Oh, show me your hat!
we got some, oh, well, yeah, so.
Show them the hat!
Little SitRep Podcast rep in action there, and then bam!
Look at that.
So I got the first batch for the test.
Wait,
there.
tell them why these are going to be exclusives.
So
Well, they don't have to be.
they don't have to be.
We
but-
don't order more ones.
So I ordered these like back in January, and then Bill decided to change the logo. So I ordered 5 of them, right? And there's a good friend of ours, Candy Rackout. Oh God, Candy, I'm gonna mess up your store name. I'm sorry, but it's Candice Rackout, Gamer Girl 74 on the Twitch. Go look her up. She's got an Etsy store, but she did these hats up for me, and I've been sitting on them for a month essentially. And I finally get over here and forgot to bring Bill and Dunn.
That's all right.
They're hats. They're sitting up in my hobby room in a box.
That's all right. And we got custom masks, right?
Yeah, we got, and Chris Wimmer's wife, Michelle, shout out to her. She fired up the Cricut and made us some custom SitRep masks. So
Yeah.
when we're out gaming, we've got a like a sand tan version and then like an OD green version.
Yep.
So we'll have those when we're out and about. And
So the hats are, this version is basically crew with black on it.
yeah,
And then we'll offer it up for sale with the A10 on the back.
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
yeah. So Candy, if you're listening, you're not, I know, because I'm looking, but I'll be calling you soon for some quotes.
So we got those. So here's what we're thinking. Since now we have 2 embroidery suppliers on either side of the Atlantic, we can have Annie at Cozy Dice handle UK and Europe orders, and Candace can handle our US and Canada, this side of the ocean orders.
Yeah, North America.
And hopefully that will help with the stupid shipping and
Yeah.
whatever else is going on in the world.
Yeah.
So
By the way, before anyone rushes, especially Candace, before anyone rushes to do anything, I have not talked to her about this. We came up with this about 2 hours ago.
on our first beer,
So yeah. So
we're doing some serious brainstorming today.
yeah. But I think that it is in her wheelhouse and that we can probably reach an agreement.
Oh yeah, I mean, because it's not like we're going to be doing thousands at a time. That'd be nice,
I mean, yeah,
but we got to start small.
yeah, So we'll take the orders as we get them and go from there.
All right.
But yeah, I think that would be cool. All right, so you know what? We've solved all these problems.
Uh-oh.
We've had, and
I
we've
feel
had,
an idea.
and we've had all these epic ideas come up as well. You know what we have not yet figured out? Our local gaming club.
Right?
I think we need one.
We do. There should be enough people in this area that we can get going. Let's see. Dennis says, tonight I'm working on the 8 latest Hueys acquired in my hog wild flames of war Vietnam troops and equipment buildup.
Yeah, very nice.
Hueys. Are these the B models? B models. So anybody who's not familiar with Hueys or helicopters.
That's why it's time for time.
Here we go. So the B models, that's the one, when you look at it, it has the single window back door slider. You know, it's very stubby one. That's a B model. Then you get into the longer models of the Huey, which, you know, have the extended door and they have the double window door, you know, extended. So those are the later models. So they were a little bit more improved for lift and capacity, obviously. Better engine in them. Also, does anybody know how you can tell what year a helicopter was built during Vietnam? So if you look at the tail number, it will usually say something like 65-4723. The number, the first set of numbers is 65 is the year it was built.
Gotcha. So that sounds like a squadron number or
Nope.
anything like that.
No. So Dennis says, Vorpal Bite says, cool. Chris says he's switching over to Twitch. Vorpal Bite says, I have the Battle Con team. I'm assuming it's a Vietnam game. On my game table right now, those poor Marines are getting pounded by artillery. Don't let Jim hear it. Don't let Jim hear it. Dennis says, I have both gunships and slicks. Okay, so does everybody know the difference between a gunship and a slick?
So a slick is an unarmed or very
Right.
lightly armed ship whose primary mission is not to be a gunship
Right.
that engages in offensive action.
Right. It basically, if anything, is an M60 on the door.
Yeah, think dust off medevacs. for
Yes,
instance.
dust off is
That's
medevac.
probably the most prolific use of slicks. But there were also
Transports.
I was gonna say there were also transports and that's all they did.
Yep.
Just haul dudes and stuff around.
Yep. Vorpal Bite says, Hueys are a dime a dozen. You don't have problems finding those. I want Choctaw helicopters. Holy crap, you were going back in time.
Choctaw.
Yeah. Oh, so you know the Choctaw, right?
No.
Okay.
I know.
So, all right. So you know all Army helicopters are named after Indian tribes, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. A Choctaw is going way back before Hueys. I gotta remember if I'm getting the model right. If it's, I want to say it's the Flying Banana, but I think that's wrong. It might be the other one, which was, it had huge
tracts of land.
you know, it had huge engine countings on it, and almost like a bubble nose, but it had these huge engine countings on it. If you go to Fort Rucker to the Aviation Museum, they have a Choctaw. I just can't remember exactly which one it is. My dad was a helicopter pilot in the Army. I grew up in the Army, traveling Fort Rucker to Fort Riley and around. So I've been around helicopters my entire life. There was a time in my life when I was like 10 years old, when family used to come to Fort Riley to visit us. He would take everybody down to the airfield, and I would literally know how to start up a helicopter. So
Remember when we were in high school and your dad took us out to when they were doing Huey Blast with the 12th group?
yeah,
Not a bad way to spend a Saturday.
nope, not at all. Vorpal Bite says Choctaws, big chopper used by Marines mostly. Yeah. But the Marines didn't use, but the Marines didn't call them by their Indian tribal names. They only used the AH or the A, you know, whatever.
Yeah, they use the military designation.
Yeah. So Choctaws is Skorsky H-34. Isn't that the Flying Banana?
Yeah.
All right, now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, that's my guess. I'm going with that one.
H-34 helicopter.
Survey says there's a lot of thinking going on there.
There's a lot of thinking going on. That is stupid games.
No, that's I was gonna say that's some cartoon bullshit.
Yeah. H-34 helicopter. Yeah. Okay. So
not the
it's,
Flying Banana. Okay, no,
that's the one from the Brothers. Remember the TV show? Yeah, the helicopter screaming Mimi.
Simon and Simon.
Simon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to get there, but yes. All right. Now I know which one. And yes, that would be a cool one to have in your collection.
Yep. Pretty sure the Choctaw was H-34 Seahorse. You're right, Jimmy. See, the Marines called it by a different name, or the Navy did. Choctaw was name applied by the Army later. Yes, the Army uses Indian names. The Navy, Marine Corps use water-related names.
And they're all sea salmons.
Yeah. Choctaw's not the banana. You're right. Surfing Bird from Full Metal Jacket. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Orbital Bite said Riptide. So yeah. So
Riptide. That's it. Yes.
not Simon. Was it Simon? Right. Riptide was the one that had the helicopter.
Different.
Okay.
Because but it had Gerald. What's his name?
Gerald Rainey.
Yeah.
Screaming Mimi was a TV show Riptide. Okay. I remember the Screaming Mimi. I just couldn't remember what show it was on. So that's cool. I will first and always love the Huey. That's what my dad flew, and when he first, became a pilot, and my dad flew just about everything in the U.S. arsenal in the Army up to when he retired from the military in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, something like that. He flew the Hueys. He flew Kiowas.
CW5, by the way.
He flew Blackhawks. He flew Chinooks. He did not fly Cobras or Apaches, but he did do a familiarization flight. Did they ever tell you the Apache story?
No.
Okay. So no shit, there he was. That's how this story starts.
I don't know that you want to get your dad in an attack helicopter. I'm just saying.
So my dad, there was a point where he was looking for another home unit because at the time the reserves were transitioning out of aviation assets to go to and they were going to the car.
Yeah, that was late 90s.
So he was looking for a new home to do his drills at and fly still. And he came across an attack helicopter company, an Apache unit. So he went up to do a familiarization flight, get used to it and see if this is the right thing for him. So they put him in the gunner seat. Okay.
This already has trouble with.
Right. So they were going up to the range at McCoy.
He's not flying. You put him in charge of all the missiles.
Right. So they go up to the gunnery range up at McCoy. There's an aerial gunnery range up there. And it's in Wisconsin. And they were on the range, they were weapons hot, and the pilot told them, go ahead and engage the target. Well, my dad didn't realize you had to control the turret, and he was using the 20 millimeter. And he just kept it depressed and shot straight essentially down. And they were only a couple hundred feet off the tarmac, off the ground. So there was all this blowback coming up, and he basically shot himself down, is essentially what it was. Well, and so of course the pilot's going, what the fuck did you do? And my dad goes, look, you told me to shoot, I shot. You didn't tell me to aim. So that's my dad.
And once again, that's why I say maybe attack helicopter not this way.
But he was a damn good pilot.
But I was gonna say, but he did some crazy flying back in the day.
Yeah. He could make that helicopter dance. I got the privilege of flying with him once when I was in the Army. He was with 12th Group at the time. So I went up to Glenview Naval Air Station where they were stationed out of, and I got to go fly with him down to Joliet when the arsenal was still there.
Yeah.
So I got that. My brother, who was in the 12th Group as a counterintelligence agent, did fly with him as well. So we're lucky we got to actually fly with her dad. So in the Army.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Now I'm going to catch up on some Orbital Bites of Screaming Meme was in Riptide. Yep, big pink helicopter that frequently broke down. You're correct.
Yep.
I need the Choctaws for the Marines. Yes, you do. No self-respecting Marine would be without a Choctaw.
Well,
in the early.
I was going to say, depending on the era, but yes, I agree. I think that's a cool looking bird. So yes, you should have some of those.
So 50% of the battles in Vietnam are with the U.S. Marines. Is that true? Maybe it is. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I do not know.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Because when you say battles, we're talking actual engagements with enemy dudes. That could be. I mean,
that's very possible.
That
because a lot of the Vietnam movies you see are Marines. Yeah. Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Well, Hot Folks now, those are.
Well, yeah.
Sort of.
mostly.
Tied up. It was an acid trip, but yeah. Rasmus says, well, I guess that counts as shooting someone down.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got one confirmed kill. So,
Chris says, I loved riding in the Bell CH-146 Griffin.
I don't know what that is, Chris. It's a 146.
It's a 146 Griffin. Look at it. That's a 145. CH.
So getting away from helicopters just a little bit, though, the Osprey that the Marines are flying. One that's
it's like the Huey. It's a Huey with the double engine. It's the Marine version.
Yeah, it's the big Huey.
Yeah, it's the twin turbine Huey.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I lost my check.
So the V-22 Osprey that the Marines are flying these days, it's got the tilt rotor technology. So it's vertical takeoff and then it transitions to forward flight. When I was in Iraq in 07 and 08, the building I was at was right at the end of our helipad. So we didn't have an airstrip. We just had some helipads. So there was my building, the helipad, and then the ADAG, the little building that controlled the flight ops for the helipad. And when those Ospreys came in, and they were all transitioned into vertical flight, that's the loudest peak noise you ever heard. Oh man, those blades literally beat the air into submission. I mean, you thought the Huey blade slapping was loud. Yeah. There's two sets of props, one on each wing.
Yeah.
And they're like it's somewhere in between a really long aircraft propeller or a really short helicopter propeller.
Yeah.
And the way they make up for that is with speed. So instead of it being the wop, 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 wop you hear from a Huey, it's like, whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it would just shake the dust out of the ceiling every time they flew over the building. You couldn't hear or do anything until they wound down on the pad. It was crazy.
I've always seen them flying over our house in the Keys from Naval Air Repair Station, Key West. They fly right. I mean, that was the cool thing about living in the Keys, because we're right, the Key we lived on was 15 miles from Naval Air Station, Key West. And we see F-18s flying over our house all the time. There was times where they were like on night flights, and we'd be in bed sleeping, and all of a sudden you're like, son of a bitch. So
yeah, just up close are a lot louder than you think.
Yes. So we had those T-38s, all kinds of helicopters and the Osprey. So it was pretty cool.
What's Vorpal Bike going on?
Vorpal Bike says, I don't know if the battles are exactly 50%. Vorpal Bike then added, I would make up timeline of historical battles in 7 are with U.S. Army and 7 with the U.S. Marine. Quezon is iconic, and so is the U.S. Embassy.
Yep.
Last chopper up. Yeah, which Marines are cast with guarding the embassy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, not just that, but there was some good U.S. Army NP action there at the embassy during Tet.
Yep.
Very famous in the NP
artillery piece there. I wonder which size artillery piece is. Is this a?
I would say that is about a 0.5 millimeter.
Dude, is that a 12 pounder? I don't. That's the thing. I'm not. You're an artillery guy.
Artillery guy. We moved past that when I was doing it. I crewed a 102 say 1, and that's an ancient piece at this point.
Yeah,
that's been out of service. 15, 20 years.
Let's see, we got some more activity going on. Vorpal added and Hue. The best battles in Vietnam War are with U.S. Marines. Well, I'll give it to you. Hamburger Hill, that's the U.S. Army.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. That was 101st, wasn't it?
Was it 101st?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the Army movies, for the most part, those are like special forces kind of guys.
Yeah, the big movies.
You see more of that on the Army side in the movies.
Yeah. Resin says his father almost got to go to Vietnam 2 or 3 times while he was in the Army. Well, almost.
Can't win them all.
Warple Bike says my Marines deserve Choctaws. So are these Marines you're saying need Choctaws? Are these in 60 millimeter as well? Because you know how big that?
Oh, that's gonna be
A Choctaw would be in 60 millimeter. No, bigger, dude. Bigger. 60 millimeters, like this tall. These are 15 or 12. 28 millimeters, about yay big.
So it'd be about the length of this table,
Right.
ish.
So let's see. Jim says, please see our Op Center series in Vietnam, particularly episode 11, Arenas of Conflict, that talk about where all the battles actually took place and where certain branches and factions actually fought. Vorpal Bite says in 60 millimeter, it's a foot long.
All right, well, here, now, let me pull it. Here, take here.
It would seem bigger than that in 60 mil. Because that's almost 28 mil to scale.
I mean,
But hey, who knows?
I have a 148 scale A10 at my house.
Well, he's saying that I'm using 148 scale helicopters with 60 millimeter soldiers.
Oh, okay, all right, that makes more sense. All right, 148 I can get my head around, buddy. Like I said, I've got a 148 A10 because, well, my guys should have A10s,
Right? Hey, you know what we haven't done tonight? And we are drinking. Well, some need a refill.
I'm getting there, but I mean.
Long story short, drink!
Oh.
Jim? Just for you, bud.
Hey, man. Isn't the rules when Jim says it, not when?
Yeah, but Jim's not, broadcasting. So we're upholding tradition.
All right.
I mean, we actually are drinking tonight.
No, that's true.
This is Saturday Night Live. Anything goes. Well, almost.
We can self-initiate the, long story short. That's like I did.
Yep.
Delicious and nutritious.
We're not really doing much to it right at the moment, are we?
No, but I won't get scurvy because I have lime in my drink.
Scurvy.
We can talk all about pirates too. I can let them talk shit. Chris has got oak and iron.
And I know Rasmus is into that too. I think he said he's working on open iron next.
Yeah. Braz and I need to get together because I need him to teach me how to play.
What I need.
I don't have anyone to.
What I need is Jim and I to play a game of Midway. That's what I need.
Good.
I'm dying to play some, Midway, Coral Sea, something like that.
Don't you have like the whole Victory at Sea expanded starter set too?
I'm ordering that. I haven't gotten it yet. No, I keep putting my the cart on the website going, do I really want to spend $375? Oh, you're talking about Pacific. Victory in Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
The Warlord stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking the Super Humongous war game maps, with the chits and
Yeah.
all that silliness. So let's see. Jim says, I think we're talking about Hue and Quezon. I believe that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
It says 60 millimeter soldiers are 1/30th scale. Walkabout Games says, I have Buford's Cav division printed.
Well, of course you do. Okay, Chris, what do you not have printed? You got a printer farm going over there. By the way, did your new printer arrive, buddy? I know that the old one got lost in, I don't know.
I think he did. He showed 3 printers on
another dimension. Yeah, but I didn't have it on yet. I remember him showing that, and I'm like, that must be the new one, but he didn't say it was the new one.
Right.
And then I've been paying attention. I'm not it's been busy.
Let's see. Oracle Bite said, I've got a figure in 60 millimeter of John Wayne as Colonel Kirby in the movie Green Beret.
Oh.
Love that movie. I actually just watched a special about the making of the Green Berets the other day, actually.
So Oracle Bite, question about your John Wayne figure.
I have Colonel Kirby too.
Did you get that from King King, or is that an STL, or where'd you get that? Because that would be cool to have.
No, I don't have his Colonel Kirby. I have him as John Stryker from UOG. It was one of those miniatures from War Gamers Illustrator, whatever that magazine is, the special edition minis. Let's see. Chris has just finished printing. Let's see. Rasmus says, I did go in on the Open Iron Kickstarter, so I need to get some paint on them.
They paint up really nice and obviously really quickly because it's teeny. So my buddy, I gave it to the starter set to my buddy Chris for Christmas, and we haven't got a game in yet. Mostly because we were focused on redoing,
right?
well, getting the studio set up and then Ultra Combat. But I think he's got it. Oddly enough,
Have you ever played
British versus Pirates? I've not.
I know you keep eyeballing one of the 3 or 4 sets I have downstairs. It's historical. We should play it. It's an easy game. I don't know if anybody's out there has seen it. It was a Kickstarter. Dawn helped him out with some of the stuff on his Kickstarter. There was a time where we were sought out for advice on Kickstarters, just because we were, open to review and comments and things like that. So, so she helped out. So she, we did previews of it. So it's really cool. Let's see. Jim says Buford's Cavalry, great choice. Right. I like Jack Stewart myself, but he was not portrayed in Gettysburg the movie very well. They made him almost like an idiot. I don't know if anybody picked that up. But, Chris says I have not finished printing Japanese for World War II. Marty, LOL. Let's see. John says the whole putting things in a shopping cart and going, well, do I really play this? I hear you, man. Thank you, sir. Orville White says I got Colonel Kirby figure from a company called Morgan Miniatures, the collector's showcase line. It's available on both eBay and Amazon. I'll have to look at that. And then he added from King and Country, I got Robert Duvall as Colonel Kilgore. I have Colonel Kilgore upstairs.
Whoa, that's another classic. Oh man.
Hey, that's our opening line. Right?
You know what? You guys.
Podcast.
We need another stimmy check because these guys have spent it for me already. I could blow $1,400 now. Like, oh yeah, I want that and that and that.
And then Rasmus says I have it as well. It's a nice light game, British versus Pirates. I really like it.
See, and to be honest, that's the kind of game I like. I like the light, easygoing ones. That I don't have to think a lot.
And Dawn likes playing it, so I mean that's about as historical as she'll get.
And in particular, I like games that don't have a lot of bookkeeping. Because I'm not good at it. That's not my focus.
It doesn't really use bookkeeping; it uses studies. So
right. But I mean, like you get into some of the really crunchy games, and it's just there's so much to keep up with that. I feel like I'm working more on keeping up with it than playing the game. Right?
You know what, Murray? What's time for?
A refill?
Dawn!
And maybe, I don't know, if we're gonna call this a hobby night, we should probably find some shit to hobby here.
Right?
Yeah. I told you to grab more paint. Yeah, well, okay, which one?
Well, we need some brown paint.
By the way, hey, we're on a platform. Did I not call it that was gonna happen earlier?
Only you.
All right.
So wait, let's watch the replay right here.
Wait
for it.
Wait for it. Oh God, I can't wait to cut that out and put it into 1,000 videos. Oh, holy shit, that was hilarious. Oh, all right, I'm sorry. We're doing maintain your professional.
Orville White says cut them off. So seriously, we need black, brown, flesh tone, flesh wash. You know what? I think I need to come up with a better system of paint. Some whatever. We'll figure it out. Orville White says if he can't master the complicated device we call a chair, then he has had too much drink. Actually, in his defense,
first of all,
it was a stool, and we are on a platform that's literally 8 inches off the ground. And it's literally 4x3. The reason being is that when I built this custom awesome table you see, I made it too tall. And my sawzall, I don't have the right blades for. And my circular saw, I have a smaller one. And I couldn't find my bigger one. So I was using my chainsaw, but I couldn't get my chainsaw started. So we decided to build a platform. So we have cinder blocks that are 8 inches tall underneath us with some MDF, thick MDF, as a platform. And of course, jokingly, before this live stream, we said, well, somebody's going to end up falling off this thing sooner or later. And sure enough, dipshit fell off of it. So John says, when do we get that printed on a t-shirt? Oh, yes, most definitely. We will put it on a t-shirt. That'll be awesome. So we probably won't silk screen that one. That'll probably be the next step up in the printing process. If silk screen goes well for us, then we're going to look into what's called white toner, because you can do full color easy prints. You know, you just print it, heat press it, and then he soaks in. So Vorbalbite says, gravity is a harsh mistress. Dude, he cannot sit on a stool. Don't let him go in your bathroom alone. He's done that a few times too. So, cool. So, John, what faction are you working on in Flintlock right now? So, yeah, I better get my ass in gear because I got 3,000 dudes to paint. So we can put these guys on a table and actually have a battle. And, you know, we got to do some gaming. So I mentioned to do some, I love epic scale, quote unquote, epic scale miniatures. Because you can fill a table with a lot of miniatures, right? And it looks epic, right? It does. It looks epic. You know, you have just row after row of troops. You know, and it's awesome. Let's see. John says mix, working on one orc, then one elf, and so on. How many guys do you need to in a faction to play the game? Workable says you like big battles. I'm 50-50. It depends on what I want to play. You know, I grew up playing Napoleonics and Civil War in our basement on the basement floor. You know, my uncle and my dad cast their own miniatures, and we would paint them up, and you know, have these big, you know, lead figure soldiers. We literally used lead, and we, you know, had lead miniatures that we painted, and you know, had big battles on the basement floor. You know, if it wasn't the Avalon Hill game we were playing, they were doing that as far as a miniature warfare game. Do you play Napoleonics? As a matter of fact, I haven't in a while, but I bought starter sets from a company here in the U.S. That does 6mm Napoleonics. God, I can't remember the name of the company. He's gonna shoot me. He's a nice guy. He's got a penguin as a mascot. Now, I know the minis are actually reboxing of some company out of England, I believe it is. But I got to get those guys painted up, and you know, this is driving me play. And I have a very extensive GW Epic collection. Never played the game, but I always was attracted again to that scale and to that. So I have quite a bit for that. Let's see. What you looked at battles? I have a club game to run in August. That's awesome. Chris says I boxed up my 20mm American Civil War because the new epic scale, they look so good on the table. I agree. Once these get on, you know, matted table with trees and fencing and buildings and all that, I think it'll look epic. There we go, epic again. You know, I think we were going to say epic, and how many times are going to drink then, right? John says they say 8 to 20 minis per player. Okay, cool. So it's a skirmish battle game. I'm doing enough at first for 6 players. That's awesome. And then Vorpal White says 28mm is the smallest I would want to go. You lose too much detail in this historical uniforms. So I get what you're saying, and you know, if I totally understand that. I'm looking from the playability of getting the sense of the scale of the armies on the field. You know, which I guess technically you could do a 28mm, but you need such a huge battle space, right? Whereas these guys, you know, boom, I'm lining up guys, you know, and this is only a, what's this, 36 by 36 or 24? 24. So this battle map, or this mat right here is 24 by 36, and you know, look at that. I can put stuff on here. Okay, terrain and some trees. You could have a small area of a battlefield here, just on this little thing. Let's see. World Bus says, how the hell would you paint the stripes on the Louisiana Tigers pants? Very carefully. That's what John said, very carefully. And then the question is, are you a general, colonel, or a lieutenant captain? It depends on, the scale. Gotta quit doing that. Excuse me. So it depends on the scale, what does this stand excuse me, represent? Is this a full company? Is this a battalion? Is this a brigade? Depending on the scale that, you're doing it in. So the idea behind epic scale is I could spend hours and hours painting. I've seen some of the guys who painted, and I'm going to do it on their actual sprue that isn't painted. That I didn't put on thing and then paint it. I will prime these, and then I will take my time and I will get in all the details and go from there. These, I was so excited to put them on the thing to see how they look, and I didn't really think about the aftermath of this, but so this is just one battalion right here. To make up the brigade. So let's see. Jim said 28mm scale war games just aren't very realistic unless they are skirmish system, of course. Agreed. Purple White says I play miniature to show off as much as I enjoy the game. And exactly. I think that's what every game does. I think what Rasmus is saying is the unit scale of the game is largely dependent on the rank of the commander. Agreed. Purple White says I like good display eye candy. John says GW Epic 40K superb game but never got enough support. The look is superb though. 10 to 20 Lehman Russes versus Untitled or Cult of Speed. So John, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I know what Lehman Russes are. They're a tank. I know what Orcs are, but I don't know what the Cult of Speed is. I'm not a GW player. Yeah. Hey, we got some paint.
All right.
We got Flesh Wash.
What you asked for?
We got some Flesh Tone.
What you asked for?
Okay. Vallejo Monocolor. We got Matte Black.
Yep.
We got some Werewolf Fur. Okay, we'll go with that.
I gave you
and Fur Brown. Excellent.
A couple of browns for you.
Because that will actually go well with my wholesale. My wholesale.
Well, that was pointless.
Yep. And you can paint the wood on the wagon, or the wagon with the artillery piece. Let's see. Rasmus says, Jim, I did learn from the best after all. Wink. And John says, standard 40K is simply the assault phase of a single epic turn. And everybody says, 40K. Oh no, GW is sucking my will to live.
Yeah, I've never played any of the GW stuff. I take that back. I played a couple of very small Age of Sigmar games, but I don't own any of it. I don't know. I still don't know the rules after playing. Not that I had a bad time. My buddy Steve Herman from church. Yep. He runs conventions for that stuff, and he is all over it. So he had me and another rookie over there playing, and mostly what we did was drink beer and push little dudes around the table.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? No, essentially what we're doing, just in a different format.
Yeah, it's a good time.
All right, so John says, Cult of Speed, think orcs and technicals. Sweet. Why does everybody like orcs so much? Is it just because they're so goofy and eclectic?
They get all the good shit though, don't they?
They steal and modify it, right?
But they've got like motorcycles and big stompy trucks and tanks and shit.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of cool shit, I think. But it boils down to.
And Jim says, there you go, Rasmus, the 4 levels of wargaming. All right, let's put some paint to this faucet. I should have brought a metallic down for the cannon. So I can sit on it. Have you tried non-metallic metallics? Have you tried doing that yet?
Not really. I mean, I've half-assed done it, but nothing serious because, well,
You should have just tried the contrast paints, dude. The horse flesh would have looked good on their contrast paint. There are, you know,
I'm not, you can get your ass up and go up to your own damn hobby room and get your own shit for the stuff you want to paint. You said bring back these colors. I brought back those colors. You want a contrast? Just say contrast. That I don't use contrast paints, so I don't know what colors. Really.
you know, I think
What
we'll put
look like?
those in a container, you know, like a plain molding container.
Mhm.
Because they're just sitting on the workbench right now, all willy-nilly. Willy-nilly.
Well, you live.
2 stories up.
Well, I was gonna say you live 3 minutes from the Plano molding outlet store.
This is true.
I am willing to bet there's a container
You think?
that you can get a really good price on.
Well, that's what, you know, half of our minis are sorted in that one storage room. So remember to thin your paints, guys. You know, not that I have to tell you all. You all are pretty proficient painters, I'm assuming. Not sure if we have any new people to the hobby watching us tonight being goofballs. But
Yeah, that needs it too.
so thin your paints.
That's right, 2 paints.
As our friend Duncan would say.
That's right, speaking of beforehand.
Dawn? Do you miss Duncan? Dawn was a Duncan stalker.
Dawn has punched out. She is in there watching one of the Harry Potter movies.
What?
I
How
don't,
rude.
I don't remember which one, but you know, they were playing Quidditch when I went in there to get limes.
How dare she?
That's all I know.
How dare she? All right, I gotta catch up with, let's see. Let's see. Jim said the 4 levels of wargaming. That's a Jim thing. You guys gotta check that out if you don't know what we're talking about. John said, oh, I don't play any GW any longer. Haven't for years. The setting's more engaging than the game. Walkabout said, I did order GW box of the new vampires for my son for D&D only. GW purchased in a very long time. Rasmus says, why not just print one? Warble Bite says, I tested Warhammer Fantasy a few times. I was embarrassed as hell. My victory was influenced by how well my army was painted. They even guessed artillery ranges a determinate hit. What? For determining how well you're painted, you get victory points for it?
Well, is that like at a tournament then they're Warble Bite? That's not in a regular game, right? Because
I don't
if
know.
it was just me and you playing, I would say your stuff looks like shit, -5 points. I don't know. So I would imagine that's got to be like in some sort of a tournament setting where they give you points for you know, actually painting your army, because they have. I mean, GW has to have rules that you have to have at least 3 colors on your dudes to play in tournaments. Otherwise,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Otherwise, dudes would show up with gray and just play.
Okay, so what's the big deal?
What I was gonna say, which
I mean, all right, so I guess there's 2 sides to it.
is what it is.
You know, you want your miniatures to be showcased and look good in a tournament. You know, a tournament is a showcase, right? If you think about it, you know, you're showcasing your stuff. You know,
Especially if it's a GW sponsored tournament.
right? So I can see that, but does that mean you prevent people from playing because they either don't have time to paint their guys, or they're not comfortable painting their guys, or you know, whatever the case may be? So
Yeah, like well shit. The black powder here. All your Union dudes come blue. They all come blue. Guess what color all the Confederates are? They're all gray. So literally, you could just put them together and play them out of the box.
and they say that in the book.
I mean, and you know what? If that's what gets you playing and you like it and you're having a good time, well then, good on you. Enjoy the game.
I'll let that dry a second. All right, Vorblast says, at least those annoying Battletech players don't whine, I win the battle because my paint jobs are better than yours. Annoying Battletech players. Oh, I like Battletech. I grew up on Battletech in the 80s. Jim loves Battletech. He's made some, you know, scratch built stuff. Well, let's see. Rasmus says U.S. infantry only fear two things: God and their own artillery.
They're not wrong.
Orville White says, how does GW continue to sell those moronic games?
People like them.
People like them. They're easy to play, is what it comes down to. And the storylines are
Well, I
captivating.
was gonna say they've got the whole Black library, so they've got a ton of lore that goes with them.
Right.
And people get into the lore, and that gets them into the game. What I don't understand is, as much as we spend on minis, go ahead and get into that game and try and buy minis.
Right.
Holy balls, they're proud of their shit.
So, look at the parade of armies at Adepticon, right?
Yeah. No, that is some cool shit. Right?
No, they come up with some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. Rasmus,
But how expensive is that guy?
no. So Chris says, Rasmus, my son liked these new GW ones compared to the STLs I found. Rasmus said, I did dance a bit on the UK Warhammer Fantasy Battles tourney screen. Back in the day, you could get tournament points from a painting evaluation, not game point. Huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was a tournament thing.
Jim says, Battletech is awesome. I'm right there with you. Oh, can we play that online? Can Jim do Battletech online?
I don't know. I've never played Battletech.
I have the starter sets upstairs, dude.
Bet they're unpainted and unassembled.
They come assembled. They're one piece. They're one piece. And yes, they're not painted. They're not actually mine. They're Ben's. Ben likes Battletech.
Oh.
So we bought them for him at Adepticon when he comes to help. So, all right. Rasmus says they're easy to access. Warple Bite says, I'm 60-year-old now and I've lost total interest in fantasy, sci-fi games. Historical battles have so much better background than your very best fantasy games.
Isn't it funny how as we get older, more and more people seem to turn out of their fantasy stuff and into historicals?
Yeah. And then let's see, Dennis says, I played the crap out of Battletech back in the late 80s and the early 90s, right? It was big then. Did you guys see that they finally settled the Macross, the Robotech thing? It's finally settled. I saw a news article about it. The lawsuits are finally settled on that. So I don't know what that means for us gaming.
I don't know what you mean at all.
All right, so back in the day, Battletech, the company that had Battletech I think it was FASA, had a lot of mechs that were similar to mechs, or were using the same mechs in Robotech. You know what Robotech was?
Yeah.
Remember the cartoon back in the 80s?
Yeah.
And Macross Enterprises, or whatever it's called, sued FASA. And so FASA had to change all this stuff, and people couldn't use the stuff for ever. I mean, it's literally been going on since the 80s. And they finally settled. What, 30-something years later?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. John says, oh, hell, GW prices are insane. Classic crack indeed. I get it. I won't admit to it, but I did go to Forge World at Warhammer World in Nottingham, and I walked in, and the centerpiece caught my eye, and I'm like, I've got to have this. And thankfully, Dawn really put her foot down on this one and said no, because we wouldn't have been able to get it on the airplane. It was the Manta from for the cow. The Manta, literally, Marty, it's a spaceship. It would fit this table.
Yeah, it's like this tall
Yeah,
and
you
like
open it
3
up
feet long.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so it's like $1,800.
Now, so GW makes some excellent models. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying their models are shit. What I'm saying is they're really freaking pricey. They're expensive, and like I don't know that you get the value for your money, because you get 3 dudes and it's like $45,
Right?
I'm like, man, there's not another 28 mil dude that I've got that comes close to that.
Jim agrees with Vorpal Bites. Historical battles are much better than background than fantasy games. He's 100% behind that one. Jim says this isn't the first time that FASA Harmony. Thank you. Harmony Sun Wars Battletech versus Robotech have been declared over. Vorpal Bites says my club is playing the Battletech campaign. They got kickstarted. It's really, really horrible. It's like a Monty Hall dungeon. Tons of good treasure and very little challenge for monsters. All right, we must be talking two different things because BattleTech isn't Dungeons. It's Roblox, mechs. So we must be talking two different things. I was very excited for Titanicus, then saw the prices. I have this Titanicus, the collector set. We opened the box.
True, it's open.
That's about as far as I've gotten on that one.
And let me tell you, so, as the rookie new guy kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
When you opened that, you showed it to me, and I saw the thousands and thousands of pieces. I'm like, oh, fuck that. Close that. Wow. And they're all teeny tiny little parts.
Right. Jim says it's over for now until Harmony Gold, not Sun Correction, finds another exploited loophole or another lawsuit. Fuckers. This is Saturday, Mike. We can cuss here. Vorpal White says, I knocked off a locust with my Marauder. I am a tough guy. It can happen.
Yay! I don't know either.
Yeah, Jim said there are no monsters of Dungeons and BattleTech. Yeah, like I said, we might be talking different things. No, I'm talking the Tuckian campaign. I'm not sure on that one. And then somebody who's answering under SitRep podcast says, you tell them, Don Lomax, LOL. Did you write that?
No, I think Chris has jumped on.
Chris, so you jumped on his SitRep?
Mr. Wimmer, have you logged on as us? Is that you?
Purple White says BattleTech Candy. I'm not sure on that. I haven't really kept up with BattleTech in a while, so I could be totally off base on that. So interesting, to say the least. But what it comes down to is everybody has their thing and what they like and don't like. While I love historical, I still like fantasy. Lord of the Rings, I'm a sucker for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, dude, we have got to.
Yeah. Every time.
We've got to. I am so down with that one.
Every time I bring it up, you've got to go right there, don't you?
Yes, we've got to bust that thing.
So I have the Minas Tirith set.
Yep.
And I have the Battle of Pelennor Fields set that I put together in Ireland with Gaz. So I gotta get those painted up so we can play, Battle of Pelennor Fields. Chris said LMAO might be me. Cool. Vorpal Bite, you just don't like me mocking BattleTech with D&D language. Oh, I don't care. Everybody has their own thing, dude. I just want to make sure I didn't miss something. That's all. Jim said the Battle of Tuckiad. I got the spelling wrong. I'm not sure what the Battle of Tuckiad is. I'm assuming that's expansion of BattleTech. So, Rasmus says horses of courses. Mr. Red.
Hello, Wilbur. A horse.
Just painted that brown. I realized it's a steel plate.
I miss my horses.
So, if anyone asks, I base coated that brown for steel.
Okay. Cool. I was driving on my way home from work one day and I saw these horses out in the pasture, one of the farms I drive by, and they're out there running and just, enjoying the warm day. And I'm like, damn, I miss my horses. All right, let's see. Major event in BattleTech lore is all. Gotcha. We don't grade on spelling, buddy. Purple Bite says. Each your own, Rasmus. All right.
You better not grade on spelling.
Right? That actually looks pretty good on camera. The blue light behind us. If we get a nice background back there, it'll look even better. Not the garage door.
I don't know. I like it. It's the industrial look.
Let's see. Purple White says, I like Johnny Red rules for American Civil War. So here's a question for you. What do you guys like to play for Zulus? There's black powder rules, obviously, and my friend Jerry over in Ireland, he came up with his own rules based on another set of rules. I have the rules somewhere. I have to see if I can find them. I'll have to see. Vorpal White says, I just love a reckless Confederate cavalry charge. Now, okay. Something to be said for it. It is fun. But are we being unfair to the Confederates? Is it really reckless? I don't know. Here's my 2 cents.
Since we're going to lose anyway, let's lose the passion.
True.
But do something?
No. It's only been 150 years.
Yeah, well, you know, those of you with Southern heritage get touchy about that shit.
Sold. They were masters at cavalry. Honestly.
Yes and no. Some better than others.
Here we go.
Like anything else, some better than others.
Yeah.
I mean, they did do some masterful things for sure, but you know, it also usually was a combination of things. You know, I believe the phrase is it's easy to soar like an eagle when you're flying with the turkeys.
Right.
Well, when you're fighting the slow kid at school, it's easy to look like a natural born killer, right? So there was a little bit of that in some of those engagements as well.
Whoa. What?
I'm saying the union had its share of issues.
You think?
It's really easy to look good when you're fighting one of their dumbasses.
Well, you know, when most of the union leadership in the early war were all bought commissions. You know, you knew a senator or a representative, or your daddy ran a big company that produced uniforms or some bullshit like that. You know, outside the big generals and stuff, you know, that were West Pointers. The ones that were not, you know, career soldiers, West Pointers.
Yeah.
Those are what I'm referring to.
Or the guys that just showed up with a regiment.
Right. Exactly.
Hi, how you doing? Got my guys. I'm a colonel. Oh, what are you? Yep, because I brought people, which is great. They needed people, but does that or does that make you a good recruiter? I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Me.
So, all right, I'm gonna catch up with some chat because this chat is exploding, man.
Right.
Let's see.
Keep saying.
John says sword and flame for colonials. Okay, referring to Zulus. Black powder bolt action. I like altar of freedom for large scale civil war. I'll have to look that one up. Jag Panther rules for World War II micro armor. Excellent. General quarters for World War II naval. I've heard of that one before. Altar. General quarters is good. Do you play Wild West? Love Wild West. Love the Wild West. We have a starter set that in the main studio at Chris's, where the main studio is currently located. Which one is that? It's not Gunfighter's Fall.
No, we have.
Is it
Desperado.
Desperado? It's the precursor to Gunfighter's Fall, I would say.
Yeah, and
From Knuckle Duster Miniatures.
we actually have a copy of Gunfighter's Fall that Forrest from Knuckle Duster. Shout out, brother. Love you show. Hope to we'll get together in person sometime. Provided us as a
prize for
a support
weekend.
for
right?
a weekend in February that got COVIDed. So,
Yeah.
But I still have that along with there's a set of miniatures and deck of cards for the game that
Nice.
that he provided us. So we hope to be able to use those in the future as prize pack somewhere.
Yep. Save it for our gaming weekend. We're gonna have a gaming weekend.
Or I'm gonna crack all that shit open, paint stuff, and play the game because I built all the buildings that come with the Desperado Star.
Right.
I'm ready to play. I got some dudes
All right,
painted.
I looked at Drake. I'm just trying to pull the paint off now. All right, let's look at some of the stuff. What rules do you use? Jim says Confederate cavalry commanders and tactics were very mixed bag. Later, when we see more dismounted cavalry tactics like Buford in the Union and forced Confederates, it's where things start to smarten up.
Yeah, tell him, Jim.
Or boy, I saw a set of rules on one page called Ruthless on YouTube called Little Wars. Yeah, we saw those rules too.
Oh yeah.
Rasmus, at some point I got a Dreadnought game for World War I, just needed to print and paint some ships. Interesting, World War I Dreadnought. Ooh. Yeah. Boy says, I got Desperado. Jim says, but the Cavalry Saber Classic Charge was tragically obsolete even in Napoleon's day. By the time you get to the Crimean War, I mean, we've all read that home, right? Right?
Yeah.
was he talking about? I know that. It's my favorite poem that I had in this one poetry book, dude.
Once more into the breach.
You know? John says, Jim, exactly. John says, remember, you always start with the next war. You always start the next war with the tactics of the last. So yeah, the cavalry charge kind of went out the way once we started having rifles that could actually shoot some distance. You know?
Once they were actually rifles.
Right, not just muskets, muzzle loaders. You actually had a rifle, so the ball or bullet would travel.
And then,
So by the Civil War, most rifles were rifled.
yeah, with the invention of the repeating rifle, woohoo!
Game on. Yep. Rasmus says, or listen to Iron Maiden, the Trooper, no poem needed.
Well, so it's a song that essentially, Iron Maiden's actually pretty good at making poems into songs.
Hmm.
They've done several songs that way.
Gotcha.
And actually, you have to be into heavy metal, or at least a little bit. You got to be able to tolerate enough to listen to it. They do a really good job with them.
Nice.
The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Really?
They did. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's one way to get kids listening to that kind of stuff, huh? Vorpalbite says, ponders, does that rule apply to Pearl Harbor? I've seen Maiden a few times. Rasmus says 10 plus. I don't think I've ever seen Maiden. I gotta let that dry around and just keep pulling things out of my.
I've got Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner on my phone if you want to listen to it right now.
No, it's copyright strike, dude.
Not if it's on your thingy. Your OBS super song
No,
was.
there's only certain music that's licensed, not all music.
Oh. Look it up.
Dude, why didn't you shake this peanuts? It's so thick and wet.
I did check it out.
Thin it out, dude.
I did thin it out. I don't thin out the whole thing. I just thin out the part of music. I don't need to make a giant pedal out of it.
Why? Then it just dries up.
Just put some more on there.
Jesus Christ.
It's fine.
Oy vey.
It's fine.
Oy vey. Let's see. I saw Maiden at Rhine Fair. Where's Rhine Fair? Is that in Germany?
Ren Fair?
Rhine Fair?
Where's
Right here. It looks like a Rhine Fair.
No, that might be Rhine Fair. I was gonna say Ren Fair. I know that's a Renaissance fair right here.
Vorpal, the battleships at Pearl Harbor were more for World War I than World War II. Granted.
No.
They were pretty much outdated by World War II, unfortunately. I always thought battleships are cool. I remember, was it the New Jersey, the Iowa that did Desert Storm? Remember when they showed them to news shooting?
Missouri, wasn't it?
Was it? No, it wasn't Missouri. I thought it was the Iowa or New Jersey. They retired in Missouri. I'm before Desert Storm. Walkabout Games. Does anyone know if DPV Dune Buggy is still used? They're using razors.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even think Delta's using Dune Buggies anymore. I think everybody's gone to razors. They're more versatile, easier to transport.
Easier to maintain. There's better support for them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's face it, they're still souped up snowmobile engines.
Yeah. So.
So there's plenty of them because those Dune buggies were essentially all one-off, custom made.
Yeah.
They were cool. When I was in Kuwait in 2003, before the war started, there were a bunch of SF dudes that had their Dune buggies out in the hangar across from us where we were living.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and they were awesome. They're like, yeah, go ahead, sit in it, play shit. He says, just don't start it up. I almost think there's a direct drive in there, and that's really why they didn't want to start up. And once it starts, it just goes. Because I did not see a gear shift.
Or
you know, being in the Army, they could have broke that shit up. I mean,
Right.
that would surprise no one. Or got broken in transport. Once again, surprise. No. But yeah, that was a pretty cool little setup they had. But it was like a straight up dune buggy with machine guns on it. And they've got that crazy arm.
Right. You know, the thing is, it reminds me of when I was at Bragg, and this would have been 87. I was getting ready for formation, PT in the morning. I had the news on my radio. And it was kind of funny because, for whatever, it was a local radio station, so Fayetteville, and they were talking about Delta Force. And somebody called in and said, Delta Force doesn't exist. It's not a real military unit. Yeah, you know, they're going on about Delta and all this stuff.
The Lee Marvin movie had already come out. Right? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So they were still denying the existence of Delta Force. No shit. I look out my window and who's coming down Ardennes Boulevard in their dune buggies? Delta. And how do you know they're Delta? Because they were all black. Everything was black. They didn't look like soldiers.
Yeah, back then, they were all blacked out. You know, and like
I laughed.
You know, like when I was in Fort Stewart in 94, 95, 96, there were open recruiting events for Delta.
They do it at Bragg all the time.
You know, I mean,
yeah,
it's a bunch of dudes. Although those guys, because they don't walk around in their super fancy ass PT uniforms that ain't in the Army. Remember the gray crap that we
used to have to wear?
wear?
PT shorts upstairs.
Why?
They're about as threadbare as they get. Because I love them.
The shorts were okay. The shorts were heinous. The sweat jacket was okay. The sweatpants were the dumbest thing ever.
The gray ones?
Oh, man. And when they got wet, so bad.
All right, let me get to more chat going on here. Craziness.
So bad.
All right, so Oracle. Someone has to make the next leap, and depending on who you listen to and which nations you follow, World War II could be considered to start with Japanese versus Chinese, which I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Talking about games, blowing up all the railroad tracks. Jim says in Desert Storm we still had USS Missouri, and Wisconsin, Iowa, and New Jersey were the same class.
Ah!
Yeah, but it wasn't the Missouri I saw. I swear it was the New Jersey or Iowa I saw on the news shooting. In fact, Iowa and New Jersey may still have been technically in service as well, but Wisconsin, Missouri, I think, were the ones firing in anger Desert Storm.
Yes, Jim, you are the man. You said it. I know it's true. So
that's one freshman. What about games? I'm printing a couple for SEAL Team. Printing Dave Buggies for SEAL Team.
Oh, I thought he was printing out a couple of USS Missouris. I'm like, wow, the SEAL teams don't need that much, do they? I mean, I know they're right around on boats and shit, but that seems to be excessive.
Vorbo says I am more of a rat patrol guy. I had the lunch pail.
Oh yeah.
Jim says, shit, Marty. I used to drive past Fort Stewart on my way home from MCAS Buford, Paris Island all the time during those years. John says,
we might have been passing each other there on 96 or 196, excuse me.
John says, my first memory of Special Forces seeing the SAS hit the Iranian embassy in London on the BBC News. I remember that. Let's go to badass.
Yeah, that was a pretty wicked operation too. All right, I gotta go get some drugs.
Get drugs?
Yeah.
All right, why don't you go get drugs?
Yeah. It's either that or I'm not gonna be able to move my arm and I'll start screeching off this.
Oh, why don't you just pull it out of the socket and reinsert it? Jesus H.
I think that's what the problem is.
Let's see. Yeah, the SS. I just watched a show on that. It was a movie. I think I can't remember what it's called. It's like the first 3 days or some silliness like that. Jim says actually knew a Marine who was attached to one of the teams calling in fire missions for USS Wisconsin. Last time we'll ever see battleships firing in anger. Yeah. It would be cool. It would be cool, you know, if you saw. Could you imagine that? Iran starts kicking up shit again, and they bring the big mo out of Mothball or the Iowa or New Jersey or whatever. They bring these big ass battleships back out and just send them cruising into the straits. I know it's tactically stupid because they probably get wasted, but just the intimidation factor of these big ass battleships coming in, that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. John says, "Hey, Marty dismounted from the platform rocket." Yeah, I didn't follow this time. I told you before, send him out the doors. He's going to get drugs. So, yeah. Well, guys, we've been streaming for 2 hours and it has flown by. And I know it's getting late for some of y'all, and I want to appreciate you all coming out to the live stream, the Saturday night live stream. You know, this is just laid back. Let's just talk some crap and, you know, have some drinks and cigars or whatever and have a great time. And just, I'd love to get seeing all the input from you guys. This is awesome. Let's see. John says, hey, Marty just went. Yep, I said that one. Dennis says, I found an STL file for the H34 Choctaw online, warming up the 3D printer now and try to print for my 15mm Flames of War Vietnam guys. Excellent. Yeah, Dennis, do us a favor. If you print out, any of you guys actually, you know, one of the comments we got from the Wednesday night stream was we'd like to see more interaction on the Facebook page, you know, other than just news blips and stuff like that. So post your stuff, guys. Post your projects, you know. Forkle post some of these 60mm guys you're talking about. I'd love to see them. You know, I'd love to see this Choctaw, you know, and some of this other stuff. I'd love to see what you guys are doing. It's a community page, okay? It's not just meant as an advertising news page. It's meant for you guys to have a, you know, say in a community and all that good stuff. And, you know, we want you guys to be, you know, right there with us. So please post away. You know, Marty says we should have the golden sit rep. You know, like certain web pages like the golden buttons for painting competition. We should have the golden sergeant sit rep. So I'd love to see your stuff. And I tell you what, you guys are posting stuff on our Discord channel. Some of the amazing terrain I've been seeing. Really awesome stuff. So, you know, I tell you what, the Discord channel's been alive lately. So, Marty's coming in the front door. So, yeah, I mean, just amazing stuff. Sorry if I'm pausing. I'm trying to paint up some boots and other leathers here. Oh, let's see. John says, just looked up the Choctaw. I know it is the Westland Wessex. Okay. There you go.
The British Army version?
That must be. Must be. Jim says, I also have a new battle report channel on our Discord page. Do not let me be the only person putting up battle reps on there. There you heard it.
Oh, all right. Hey.
So battle space, dude.
I'm thinking so. So speaking of battle space, so on the battle space Facebook page today, they were talking about you know, we need to move into a new scenario, a new area. I'm thinking about doing something urban, like thought of you. I'm like, you need to do like South Beach, Miami Vice.
Oh, Miami Vice. Oh, that would be awesome.
You know, you get some little Ferraris, you get a little cigarette boat, you got Crockett and Tubbs out there doing their thing.
That's awesome.
We may have to come up with the expansion on our own for that one.
Right? That would be cool. That would be cool.
It would be. What'd I miss? Anything good?
No, just Jim's talking about the Discord channel for the battle reps. Razin says, like the bat rep idea somewhere you can post your rules fast as you go on. Yep. Jim says, I would play any war game where Miami gets blown up.
Oh, oh, damn. Yeah, you have some very strong feelings there, sir.
He lives north of there.
Well,
yeah.
Are you trying to make the property values go up? I mean,
Dang.
that, you know? I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've flown in and out of Miami, but I've never spent any time there.
Oh, I love Miami.
I was more in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I like Miami. I like Little Havana. I like Cuban food. I used to fly out of the island off of MacArthur Causeway all the time where the seaplane base was, Chalk Airlines. We used to fly the seaplanes out of the canal there where the cruise ships are,
Yeah.
and go to the Bahamas.
I like Cuban sandwiches and Cuban coffee. Does that count? Okay.
As long as it's a correct Cuban sandwich.
So funny story again, when I was in Iraq in 2003, our battalion headquarters was actually a unit, they weren't out of Miami. They were some suburb of Miami. They were right there. And there was a lot of Cuban, people of Cuban heritage in that unit. And
I bet they made a good sandwich.
no, we didn't have the fixings for sandwiches.
How about chicken rice?
But we did get that as well as Cuban coffee.
Yeah.
So oddly enough, one of the admin clerks in the S1 shop, no shocker there, was the one that made all of the Cuban coffee. She brings it out in like this thimble. I'm like, she's like, no, go ahead, try it. I'm like, it's not that I'm afraid of it. I'm wondering where the rest of it is. She's like, no. And she holds up her coffee pot. And it's this, she's like, here's the coffee pot. How do you people do this? She's like, oh no, it's very strong. And telling me all this stuff about it. So I did my shot. I'm like, yeah, it's a little sugar. I go, yeah, that's pretty good. Can I have some more? She's like, yeah. And so she gave me the pot, so I unscrewed the lid off.
All right. So Rasmus says doing Orlando next month. Jim says Miami's our noisy neighbors downstairs. John says, Jim, hey, just because you live in Broward, North Miami here.
Uh-oh.
John goes on to say, so saying the club is thinking of a second American Civil War game, it would be like 1933 setting. Interesting. Because remember, back then, there were still people who let's be honest, there are people in the South today who didn't think the Civil War is over or that.
You can still find the South going to rise against stuff down there. But I mean, but thinking of this Florida Wars again, right? But I like the 1933 timeline though. I mean, that could have been a legit thing then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like for real, could have happened. I mean, there's a lot of economic factors that quash that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think the will was there amongst a lot of people. So
let's see. Rasmus says the Harry Turtle Dove game.
What?
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna look like an idiot because I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's Harry Turtle Dove?
John says Bahaha.
Is that Harry Potter's weird cousin?
Oracle Bite says I recently saw a good war movie. It's called The Outpost, Orlando Bloom Afghan War.
Yes. And is that I'm trying to Vorpal, help me out. What was the outpost that they were on? It was in the Korengal Valley, right? Am I thinking of the right place? I'm drawing a blank on it.
No. I haven't seen the movie yet.
I haven't either, but I think
Custer.
Yeah, so the SF dudes that went to go in and rescue them, one of them is a very close friend of mine that lives up here. There's a bunch of dudes out of 19th Group that came in and did some cleanup after the big attacks.
John says Turtle Dove is the master of alternative history fiction. 4 points at Custer. Camp Custer. Dennis says, I was thinking of doing a campaign in Vietnam, but using Florida as a map.
Dennis, not only do you have to do it, you have to put it on the back rep page.
Well, there's no swamp down there. You could run, like the Mekong Delta and the Okeechobee Swamp, all that crap.
Right.
So, Nevertheless. Let's see. Rasmus, author who wrote an alternative history where the South won the American Civil War.
Oh,
they actually did, but we just like to make the Yankees think they won. Just saying.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the stars and bars at the Pledge of Allegiance. You have an American flag kid over here. They look strikingly like
the American flag.
Yeah. Red and white stripes, steel and blue, bunch of stars on it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right, guys. Well, we've hit the 2.5 hour, 3 hour mark. What do we got? What's our
No, 149.
149?
Just under 2 hours, yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna stick around. We're gonna cut us off at 2 o'clock. The 2 o'clock. 2 hours.
2 hours.
No, it's 10 minutes. Yeah. So we're just shooting the shit now.
So-
Listen to you guys have some funny stuff going on.
Yeah, so make sure your stuff doesn't suck, so that way we don't look bad.
John says I would pay to play in Vietnam, Florida game.
Right?
All right. I think I see a Wargaming Weekends gaming.
Man, we got a lot of weekends planned. We're gonna need a project manager for like scheduling this shit.
You're the project manager.
No, I'm like the shop foreman, like I build the shit.
Send me, I'm the project manager.
Somebody, I think we're gonna have to hire
Dawn?
this out the rate we're going. Yeah, there you go.
Don's project manager. All right. Loves this stuff. Chris says, look up War Plan Red, LOL. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling really kind of lost in the weeds here. Harry Turtle Dove, this is Jim, is indeed the master. Famously stole many of his ideas when I published Panzer Leader ATO, American Theater of Operations. Where's American Theater of Operations?
Well, yeah, he stole it and published it.
Did I miss this? Is this like Red Dawn type American Theater of Operations? Or is this American Theater of Operations in Europe?
No, I think this is Red Dawn.
Oh, Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Erasmus, and ongoing wars all the way up to World War II, where you have the South being at an alternate Germany. Oh, that's not funny. What the hell?
Not funny to do. Although, realistically, if you're gonna put the Germans anywhere, they are in the north of America.
Right? Verbal Bite says, how much? How much?
Yeah, how much you gonna pay him?
Oh.
That's what he wants to know. Show me the money.
Jim says, I know War Plan Red, Walkabout Games. We still have that plan, by the way. Be warned. Chris says, LMAO. John says, well, from the sounds of it, airfare to Chicago. Dude, you can get cheap airfare from Miami or Lauderdale. It's easy, you know?
Regular flights, you
Yeah.
fly Southwest.
So, yeah, we're definitely get our gaming weekend going. Let's see. Marty, what do you have in Blood and Plunder that can take on a 6th rate?
Hold on. Do you have a 6th rate, Brad?
What's the 6th
Nothing. It's a ship that will blow my little bark out of the water is what it is. No, I have one little bark, but I did go in on the starter set for the Kickstarter, so I will have 2 more coming.
Hey, dude, you're tight.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, but I got 2 more coming. So this fall, I still won't be able to beat your 6er.
John says, Jim says World War II in the United States. How did I miss this? Did I miss this? I'm such a follower of Jim's, and I just don't remember this one. John, War Plan Red, U.S. plans to invade Canada. Canadian bacon! John Candy, remember that movie?
Yeah.
Mayor Perlman?
Yeah. We'll get the EM50 cruise on up there.
Gotta get, was it fries and gravy or something like that, crap?
Yeah, it's poutine.
Yeah. Let's see. Vorpal Bite, but Miami's still full of Viet Cong. I don't go there.
Uh-oh.
Okay. John says, along with playing blue, orange, black, and play Bruce. I think.
Dear Lord.
Jim says, Panzer Leader ATO is equals to full-scale World War II front in the United States. War Plan Red, real-life plan for the U.S. to invade Canada. Mine have actually happened if the Germans had landed in England in 1940. Really?
So wait a minute, let me see if I get this right. The Germans landed in England, so we got to invade Canada. Why would we invade England then? Because that's where the Germans are. You got that Galen too, dude? That's. Oh man. All right, so Dennis, you and Rasmus can fight each other, and then when you've sunk both your ships, I'll come up with my little dudes.
So John says that's why I can't get good food down here. Food.
No, that's a no.
I know.
Say it then.
Pho.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and you know, they opened a new pho noodle shop down here.
I saw that last weekend when I was teaching at
I've been trying to order from them. Every time I go to order, they're like never there. Dennis, oh, I have a 6th rate in a galleon. May have to help out Marty.
Yes, you would. Holy crap. Dude, the galleon's like as big as the cutting mat. That thing's giant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't turn it because it's huge.
So Rasmus says he has a 6 and 2 light frigates.
Oh man, my game is weak.
I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, but they're talking about they've got the really cool big ass boats that pirates actually use. And
Mike, what scale is this? Is this the little tiny ships you guys have, or is this a big?
no. This is that oak and iron is a little teeny tiny one.
Okay.
You know, I've got the like my bark is probably I don't know a foot long.
Okay.
So my bark is like the smallest ship.
Your bark is worse than your bike?
Yeah. Meanwhile, so think about this. His 6th rate is probably
Okay, why
close
do
to
they
the
call it
size.
6th rate? Because 6th rate doesn't sound very impressive. If it was 1st rate.
No, they're all ships of the line, and that's how they were graded and whatnot.
So Jim says, yes, based on what happened with France when France collapsed. After the colonies wound up in Axis hands under the Vichy government. If England had been invaded and had cut a deal, Canada might have wound up as an Axis possession. At least that was the worry. Johnny asks, how is blood and plunder? Dennis says 20 millimeter. Rasmus says, I like blood and plunder a lot. Warblight, why not invade Canada? Remember 9/11? We was attacked by Saudi Arabians, so naturally we invade Afghanistan. Invading Canada in response to an invasion of England sounds okay. Hold on. Yes, the Taliban were led by Saudi Arabia. Where were they based out of?
Wherever he could find.
Where was he based out
would
of?
no longer kick him out.
Where was he based out
He
of?
was in Afghanistan
All
at the time. He was.
That one, yeah. Because I can tell you exactly, and you probably knew exactly where you were at 9/11.
Yeah.
I know exactly where I was at 9/11.
I know.
I was at work. I was working for Chrysler at the time, or Mercedes-Benz actually. Just went down there, Chrysler together. And somebody said an airplane crashed into the World Trade Center, and I thought it was just like a, like Cessna.
Yeah. You know, like what kind of freak accent?
Right, exactly.
And then that's what I heard on the radio because I was at home at the time. Yeah. And because we turned on the TV, so what they were talking about.
So somebody brought it up on the internet, and we saw the video, and and then you see the second plane hit, and then I got a phone call,
and anyone that knew anything, when that second plane hit, we all went, okay, so we're under attack.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm in the Pentagon.
And I literally had my soldiers in my reserve unit calling me up asking where to report.
Yep.
Like, slowly roll. We take our orders from above.
Yep. And my unit called because I was with the 106 at the time, and they said, if you can get here because we're going to start spinning up the helicopters because we might have to fly the governor and the mayor and all those bullshit out of the city because he was in the city at the time and they wanted to use military aircraft and his private aircraft. But before I could get out of the building, they called back and said, stand down. That it wasn't the threat in the city, at least at that point. But it was the weirdest thing seeing the sky empty of aircraft.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't believe in mythical cave dwelling ninjas.
Rasmus, I were between the two towers around 2 months before. So he is.
Yeah, so funny story there as well. I was in Long Island for an Army Reserve conference. There was one the October before that.
Yeah.
And I went up in the towers.
Yeah.
And you know how you get the cheesy pictures taken, and then you get down to the bottom after the tour's over, and they're like, "Hey, buy the shitty picture for $20."
Right.
Well, I was with my my unit commander, and she didn't want it, so I bought mine and I bought hers.
Oh yeah.
So that way I have some blackmail. Like, you don't want this to get out there. 9/11 happened, and like a week later, I got a phone call because she had transferred units by then.
Yeah.
You still have that picture? I do. So I gave it to her.
So John, I'm gonna agree with John's assessment on this one. If the UK was invaded, it would be far more likely that Canada would be where the royal family went to and carry on the fight from there.
Yeah, I think that.
John also continues to say places like Canada and Australia had far more independence than the French colonies. Jim says, depends on whether the royal family is still alive or had been forced to abdicate in favor of Edward VIII. At least that was the German plan. John says true.
Yeah.
So, all because he married some girl, right? Was that Edward that advocated the throne because he married some plain girl or something like that?
Yeah, because he married for love.
How dare the royal family marry for love?
Well, he's like the one. Well, I can't say he's the one.
Prince Harry, you want to go down that road? I think, okay.
Oh, here we go.
I think Prince Harry got fucked. You want my honest opinion? I think Meghan Markle took him to the cleaners, is still taking the cleaners, and
I think he's lit.
yeah. See, John says all because he married us and the Yanks still going ruining the royal family. That's twice now we've done it.
Is this payback for the all the years of repression under the King George?
Yeah. Yes, I don't know, because I couldn't give crap one about Meghan Markle, but I like Harry. I mean,
He's a stand-up guy, actually.
I mean,
Because Gaz, no, he was actually in Gaz's unit.
yeah, I was gonna say he was a legit for real soldier. He went out, did the deed, and then when he came back and he was no longer on active duty doing stuff, he was very involved with veterans.
Yeah.
Which is near and dear to my heart. So I totally respect that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, what do we got there, sir?
2:01.
All right. Should we just round out the hours on 10 o'clock? We got any more minutes of showtime?
Well, I mean, if you're saying, should we talk shit for 8 minutes?
We can talk shit for-
I think we could probably work that out. Right?
Oh, so Vorpal Bite says, why are we invading Canada when there are Viet Cong in Miami?
He's still on the big line in my hand.
Shouldn't we resolve our domestic issues first? I agree. We need to stop sending money to other countries and concentrate on fixing what's broken here. However, in political science, they will tell you if you do not support other countries, somebody else will, and you will lose a valuable resource / ally or ground.
Or the buffer zone
Yeah,
between the country you really like and the one that you don't.
Yeah. And Rasmus says, no other countries have a VA like the U.S. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I think it's a good thing.
The system's broke, but
it's got
the practice is good.
It's got its
The idea is
challenges.
good. Let's put it that way.
But I mean, the reason why it has its challenges is because it tries to offer something. Oh my God.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Marty. Horrible Bite just wrote, a sandwich goes into a bar. The bartender says, I'm sorry, we do not serve food. That might get right out of left field, man.
So then, Pork, you win dead joke of the night.
Holy shit.
So back to my soliloquy on the VA and how it serves our nation's veterans. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus, he's got a bunch of them.
A neutron goes into bar and orders beer. The bartender says, for you, no charge.
No charge.
And Jim goes, ugh. The Israeli war map for tomorrow is finally done.
Good. Well, Jim, thank goodness somebody got something done tonight.
Yeah, somebody was productive. It sure the hell wasn't us. Holy crap. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this stream up. Remember, tomorrow we release the next episode of the podcast, so make sure to go for that.
Winner's going to be announced.
Yes, we're going to announce. And then John goes, the neutron says, thanks, I'm going to Mass. Holy shit.
It just doesn't stop. And that's why we love you guys. Woo!
All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. thank you for joining us on this Saturday night for some libations, some painting, and a whole bunch of silliness and BS and
lighthearted fun.
Yeah, it is good to catch up with you all. I hope we were entertaining to you as well. And
You were certainly entertaining to us.
yeah, so we hope you have enjoyed the stream. We'll try and do more of these in the future if you think this is a good idea, if you enjoyed yourselves. We'd love the participation, and tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your loved ones. You know, have them come on. We try to make funny.
Yeah, I mean, we got to 500 followers. We'd love to get to 1,000.
Exactly. So
Help a brother out, will you?
yeah. So guys, thank you very much. This is Bill, Marty, for the Sit Rep Podcast, and we're gonna say goodnight. Take care.